What?
I mean, you can clearly see Pogba chesting the ball forward before being rammed by Ozil, and even the ball moves forward. And yet, the referee gives the foul against Pogba for some reason. So this is my review of the PES 2020 demo. These are not my first impression thoughts, and I'm really glad I did not make a first impression thought video, because my first impressions were actually horrible, and I thought the fouls were broken. And I actually thought there was no way to take the ball off the AI without fouling them. But thankfully, when you play the game more and you figure out what you can and what you can't do, it did not take long before I figured out how to successfully steal the ball, apply the right pressure, and before long you know what to do and what not to do. And actually sometimes it's a little bit more realistic than it used to be, how you need to apply some pressure, forcing your opponent to shield off the ball while you call in a second defender to steal the ball off of him. And that is not to say that the fouls aren't broken. The refereeing is inconsistently broken. So for example, we have here Muller being kicked by Anthony Martial, and that's a normal foul, that's fine. But then we have Lewandowski kicking the shit out of my defender, and he gets the foul actually this time. And this one's actually better. Here Anthony Martial is clearly fouled, and then the defender that fouled him bumps into him and he gets a foul. And the more you play, the more inconsistencies you see in refereeing. So for instance, Ronaldo here successfully pulls off a nutmeg and gets taken down by Pogba, and that's a foul. But then he does it again with Smalling, who also goes for a tackle and brings him down. That's not a foul. And while I actually like that this year's game does have elbows to the face and it accurately depicts them, and it's always a yellow card, I don't like how many sliding tackles that are taking out players on a break aren't even carded. I mean, the new physicality in PES 2020 is definitely a plus, but it needed to be coupled with smarter refereeing AI. I mean, overall, I absolutely love the physicality in PES 2020. It's one of my favorite things about this year's game, but I feel that the refereeing and the animations need to rise to that level, and it's not there yet. For instance, over here, clearly Rashford gets to the ball first and is tackled, but no foul was awarded. And over here, a clipping issue prevents a foul from being called. And the same thing over here, only the player doesn't even connect with the ball. And finally, I really think the advantage duration is a little bit inconsistent, like this looks like it should have been called. Well, I know that it does sound that I'm complaining too much. I actually do love this game, and I think it's the best PES to have come out ever. I'm having the most fun playing this game, way better than last year's game. I mean, they fixed the headers here. They're not as easy as PES 2018, but not as impossible to pull off as PES 2019. Shooting feels incredible once you get the right player in the right pace with the right momentum behind your shot. I think the finesse shots this year are the best they've ever been. You're able to curl the ball in more confidently, and it's not a guaranteed goal, but when it does happen, it looks beautiful. And you can see here how many players are trying to block the shot, which makes every shot you take in this game way more challenging. Which brings me to defending AI, which seems to suffer occasional glitches, like how defenders will have mini strokes and forget to track the ball, or just stop in their tracks. I don't like how this defender is slowing down over here, for instance. Thankfully, for the most part, the goalkeepers have not been affected by any of these defensive AI glitches. They recover faster than any other year, and they get quickly back to their feet, ready to pull off as many successive saves as needed. I also love how they parry the ball away to the sides for less rebound tap-ins. I've also noticed that this year how realistically many times they'll catch the ball over 2 times, although I don't know if that's purely cosmetic or if the ball is up for grabs between the second and the first catch. They also react equally well to deflections off their own defenders. I think my only concern is with positioning, so you can see here the keeper doesn't adjust his position when Rashford moves to the left. They also do a good job rushing out of their goals to provide coverage. Although I feel that this year they're less likely to slide out and clear the ball, which often isn't ideal. But yeah, overall the keepers definitely are a plus in this year's game. And when they can't get their whole hand to the ball, I feel that this year there's greater use of their fingertips, especially when they can't generate enough momentum to punch it out, like the keeper does here to counter the lob. And I want you to notice the beautiful ball physics after it bounces off the crossbar, then again off the ground. As in any PES game, the ball and net physics are the big standouts versus FIFA, especially the way the ball swerves in the air, and the way you get a bigger bend and a more threatening height when you're crossing a ball coming towards you. This all means that mundane, basic actions like passing the ball around just feel oddly satisfying, as do the properly weighted through lobs from one side to the other. Using the right analog stick this year traps the ball under your feet so you can drag it in one direction then burst the other way. It's relatively easy to learn, but hard not to overdo. You can still use the same combinations of right and left analog sticks to do skill moves like the Ronaldo chop, or perform quick and easy shoulder drops to make room for a shot. I just feel that this year the offensive AI is a whole lot more fun to engage. For instance, my keeper is out here so the AI takes a shot. And I used to like to do this thing where I defend a free kick using one of my defenders, but this would actually compromise the offside trap. But this year, the AI will actually advance its players beyond the wall to make use of this space. From a visual standpoint, I'm actually surprised by how beautiful the game looks this year, especially given how bland the E3 videos looked. I love these little touches with the animation where the ball hits a player's crotch, or when you get too close to the crowds and they start standing up and cheering on the players or cussing at them, or the way scoring a late goal triggers this celebration with the coaching staff. It would have been nice to have goal line technology in the replays this year, which this free kick would have used. Obviously I'm playing on PC, so I have Anfield, and I have 10 to 20 minute halves. But yeah, it's gonna be a good year. I had to peel myself away from the actual game to make this review of the demo. I can't wait for the full review, so make sure to hit the notification bell to get notified of the upcoming videos, and there's gonna be plenty of them this year, so stay tuned.